So today, we'll go through this agile. Okay. So far, we have learned through various methodologies, right? SDLC and waterfall. Okay. Waterfall is still, the people are still working on waterfall. I wouldn't say it is completely outdated, but still people are using it. Agile people are moving more forward into agile methodology. So let's see, what does this agile methodology contains. And, let's learn its terminologies. Okay. Let's see first terminologies for agile, and then we'll move see. So here, so if you're saying, like, somebody asked a question like, what kind of methodology are you using, right? So you might probably say as agile. Okay, you're using agile. Now, agile is pretty broad term. Okay, so very broad term. That means it has different levels. Okay, it's kind of levels of different a way of doing the testing. So here we will be concentrating more onto Scrum. Okay, Scrum is also it's an iterative and incremental process. Okay, so what is Scrum? Scrum is an iterative and incremental process. And if you see here, if you see, okay, so let's see here. So if you see here, right, there are so many others, so many other methodologies. Okay, it's kind of frameworks. It's kind of framework. And if you see here, this Kanban. Okay, Kanban is similar to Scrum. Okay, but it's not. Scrum is more complex because a lot of people, and a lot of gathering, will be there in the Scrum. And there is XP, extreme programming, where you do extreme programming, and this RAD too. RAD is rapid application development. So these are all the parts of this agile. Okay, so you may be only working in one, not all of them. Okay, so I've not seen one guy working in all of the methodologies. Really not possible. But yes, if there's different kind of projects which you have to work into methodologies, maybe that might be scenario. But I've never seen in my career working in more than one methodology. It's really not possible. But not sure how the project could be. So okay. So let's see here. So here let's talk about this various team members. Okay, we will talk about these team members in agile. Sorry, Scrum. Okay, here we are being a little bit more detailed. So in saying agile and we are going to Scrum, that means we are dealing with one module in an agile. Okay, so here let's talk about these various roles and responsibilities. Okay, when you have this in Scrum, then there's a lot of people are involved, right? Now let's see product owner. Okay, product owner is actually the person, business analyst. Business analyst in waterfall methodology is product owner in Scrum. Okay, in agile, most of the place, even if you take the Kanban or any other process, the roles and responsibilities will be similar. Okay, so in complete agile, the product owner, business analyst in waterfall is product owner in agile. Okay, that's what they call. And the responsibilities is a little bit different. Okay, the changes responsibilities. Okay, if you're flexible, if there's a flexible environment, then you can also coordinate with the product owner, not a problem. But if it's not flexible, sometimes the environment is not flexible. That means they're not allowed to coordinate with product owner directly. That means you have to coordinate with your lead, and the lead coordinates with with the product owner or responsible guy. So that's how sometimes it goes. Okay. But otherwise, product owner is the person who is responsible for documentation, various requirements, and normally this product backlog. Okay, product backlogs and all this is responsible. All this is designed by the product owner. Okay, so we'll go to that. What is product owner? What is product backlog, and all those things we'll see here. Okay, so here you need to see here So you want to, look into these responsibilities pretty quick. Okay, you want to see what are the roles and responsibilities. The problem is the agile is really developing. People want to add something, people don't want to add something. So thing is, not everyone knows what's the responsibilities. Situation comes like, you don't even know the product owner doesn't even know their own responsibilities. So there might be a scenario like this. So then you want to see here what's actually, the responsibilities and what actually they do. Okay, you want to just have a look. You don't. It's not necessary that you are doing someone else's job. It's like trying to know what the responsibilities. Sometimes, it's very important. Let's see why it is important. Let's take an example. Okay, so let's go to next one. Development team. Okay, then you have this, if you're working in Scrum, that's fine. You have this lot of people here. Okay, normally let's take 5 people. 5 people is good in Agile. So that means, let's say here, 3 developers, 1 testers, and 1 Scrum Master. Okay, so it might be scenario, depends on scenario, but this is how it was. Development team, that means 3 developers, like Java developer or, ETL developer or some guy, and 1 tester, and another Scrum Master. Scrum Master is, the project manager in waterfall methodology is actually the Scrum Master. So we'll go to that. So this is what development. If you see here, there is no testers, right? If you see here, there's no testers because this is very important here. So what happens, right? They're trying to do what they're trying to do in Agile is they want trying to eliminate these testers. Okay, technically it's really not possible. So what your boss would say, no, why do we need testers? Okay, we don't need any testers in Agile. Okay, development will be doing their own testing. So they might ask you this question, no, we don't need any tester. Why should we hire you, right? So that should be a question. We don't need any testers. Our developers are doing their testing, so why should we hire you? Okay, so that would be the question. So what the thing is, even if the developers are doing testing, they will be doing as a business perspective. Okay, if developers does the testing, they do business perspective, and if testers is doing testing, they are doing a customer point of view. Okay, and developers are doing business point of view. So mostly they will be checking the code. They do not really care about UI. How the UI is, what's if the button is working or not. They really not bothered about it. They really don't care. But the testers will be working on that because testers are working as customer point of view. How the customer is getting product, is they able to click these buttons, all. So you were not able to remove these testers because customer point of view, you cannot expect developer to do this because developer has his own work, right? They have to do a lot of coding work. So that's the reason you cannot remove a tester from, there might be at least 1 testers, okay, if not 2 or 3, 1, but still you need it, okay, so that's the reason. So that's the development team. And okay. So let's go to the next one, a Scrum Master, okay. Now let's say, Scrum Master, project manager in waterfall methodology is called Scrum Master in Agile, okay. Project manager in waterfall methodology is called Scrum Master here. Now, the responsibilities of Scrum Masters are a little bit different. You want to know that. The reason here, right? So see here. You want to see here this. Try to understand what exactly they are trying to say. Okay. You want to see that and try to understand this. Okay. So what happened, right? Let me give an example why you want to know these responsibilities. Since Agile is really this developing point of view, and a lot of people know something, a lot of people don't know something, so a lot of confusion. When you go to the work, it's a lot of confusion actually. So what happened, right? Let me give an example here. So I opened a bug, okay? I opened a defect, and I coordinated with the developer saying that, hey, what, this is the defect I opened, and it should be fixed. The developer said, no, I don't have time for you because we are working on this production issues. We have a lot of issues going on. We are not working on that. Okay, that's fine. No, that's good. But maybe I'll come back later, and maybe after 1 day, 2 days again this guy, hey, you know what, this is open course. So said, no, we still don't have time, I don't have time for you because there's more more pressing issues going on. So that's fine, that's okay, and now, if you're not, if your bug is not fixed, if your defect is not fixed, then your boss will tell you, why it's not fixed. Why didn't you coordinate with the developer? Okay, that's the basic question. So what happened, right? So then what I did is I escalated that issue to Scrum Master. So why? Okay, so they give, hey, you know what? Can you, coordinate with the developer because I know they are busy. There's a lot of work to do. I know they are working on production issues, but this defect should go, and this should be solved by this week. And it's already 2 days are gone because developer was busy, so he's not able to do it. Now, what happened, right? My boss called me saying that why did you give the defect to the Scrum Master, right? Why did you give the defect to the Scrum Master? It should be developer, not Scrum Master. So what I explained is Scrum Master is a bridge between the developer and tester. Okay, Scrum Master is a bridge between developer and testers. How? Let's see here. It's there here itself. Okay, let's see here. You know what? Here you see here. Helping the Scrum team to avoid or remove impediments to its progress, whether internal or external to the team. Okay, that's the thing which my boss didn't know. As a matter of fact, even Scrum Master didn't know that it's an impediment, right? It's a defect, and it should be solved and it should be fixed, and it should, because this is going to the production in 2 weeks, and we are lagging behind. So that's the reason. I gave the defect to the Scrum Master, and then you knew. So they will say, why did you give the defect to Scrum Master? There's no reason to give. So that's what I now explained them, that it's a bridge. Scrum Master is a bridge between developer and tester. Okay, that's what you have to remember. So that's the reason you need to little bit try to see here, because when you get questions from your boss, if you know some information, you'll be able to help yourself, saying that okay, this is the reason, because Scrum Master is responsible for reviewing impediments. So impediments will go to the impediments actually. Impediments is issues. Okay, you can say the issue in Agile you call it as impediment. It can be a defect. It can be a coordinating issue. Okay, we are not coordinating, or someone else is not responding, so that's also impediment. So anything which is related to project, which is not moving forward with the project, is called impediment. Okay, they're not able to complete your test case because something is blocked, something is blocking you to do the work. That's called impediment. Okay, so anything. It's a general term in Agile. I mean, it can be like from a defect to any issue, coordinate issue. It's called impediments. Okay, it is stopping you to move forward. Okay, so that's that's the roles and responsibilities of Agile. Any questions so far? Okay, so let's go to the next. Okay, so let's go to various meetings. Okay, in Agile you'll be having a lot of meetings. Okay, especially in Scrum, in Kanban, all other process. You may not have that many meetings, or even if you have, maybe it will be mostly a phone call or something, or small meetings. But in Scrum we will be having a lot more than that. Okay, so here let's talk about the sprint. Okay, what is sprint? Sprint is time box in it. It's like time. Okay, here we are talking about time, but it's kind of 30 days, 15 days. Okay, you can say it in days or month. Mostly month. Okay, we'll take this one sprint 1 month. Okay, for ease of convenience, it might be 15 days. It might be 1 week, 2 weeks. Okay, but here we'll take it as 1 month. So 1 month is one sprint, sprint one. Okay, sprint two, that means second sprint. Okay, second month. Sprint three, third month. Okay, so that's a sprint. Okay, it's a time box unit, which requires some, to complete your work in that particular time. Sprint in Agile. Okay, and so then you have this sprint planning. Okay, this sprint planning is actually, is organized by Scrum Master. Scrum Master is responsible for, planning this sprint planning. What exactly they do here is they have a lot of user stories, right? You guys have, seen that user stories, right? The requirements. Okay, there's the requirements. Calling waterfall requirements here, we call it user stories. So here, what happens is Scrum Master organizes that user story. Which user story has to go to which sprint, right? There's sprint one, sprint two, sprint three. Okay, there's a lot of things going on. So which user story has to go to which sprint? Okay, all these are prepared by in the sprint planning. And who is the tester? Who is the developer? And who is actually testing that? Okay. Who's doing, that one is always done in a sprint planning, and this lasts for 3 hours. Okay, that's a very good question. Somebody asked, okay, what's the what's the difference between sprint and iteration? Are the same meaning? Okay, that's a very good question, but okay, so iteration is really, it's not related to Agile. Okay, this is, I mean, you can say it's the same, but technically it's a little different. Okay, the reason, right? Because sprint, if you're saying about sprint, if you're like talking about the sprint, that means you're talking about the process. So all this is Agile is a process, right? It's a framework. Now iteration is a little bit more technical, like it might be it might be in QTP script, okay, UFT script or automation script, where you're running these iterations, one iteration, two iteration, and the code is running. So that's its more technical point of view. But sprint is more related to here in a process, in a framework point of view. Okay, so so that's the actually. Okay, so that's a major difference. Okay, it's, technically it's different, but if you want to understand this, both are same. You can do it, but if you are taking as a different perspective, then it will be a little different than that. Okay, so somebody asked a question, right? Sprint and sprint planning also comes under Scrum. Yes. So all this we are talking about the Scrum. Okay, the whole process. We are talking about the Scrum. Okay, so all this will be in the Scrum. Sprint and sprint planning, and we have more meetings, so we'll see here. Okay, so in sprint planning, what you do is, so what happens here, right? So all the user stories and all those, and Scrum Master, there's a like voting system, kind of voting here. That means Scrum Master will say to the developer how much time will you require to complete this work, complete this particular user story. Okay, so now the developer says 5. Okay, let's say this is 5. 5 means 5 days. Let's say 5 days. That means, okay, here when a developer is talking, that means 3 days for development and 2 days for testing. Okay. Normally here, developer runs the show. Okay, because they have more information what's going on, what the code is all about and how the testing is done. So mostly you'll see this developer talking more into this, unless you have some knowledge what the application is all about and what's going on. Now, so developer runs the show. So here what happens, the developer says, okay, so 5, that means 3 days for developing and 2 days for testing. Now the Scrum Master says, no, we don't have time for that. We have plenty of user stories, and a lot of user stories has to go in this release. We cannot afford 5 days of time. Okay, we will not going to do that. But somebody else has to support him, some technical guy or his manager saying that no, we have a lot of Java work here. There's a lot of objects, classes, and we have to coordinate with other team. So we have to take this time. This is this time is important. Then Scrum Master agrees with that. Okay, good. So we'll take this as 5. That means 5 days. 3 days for development and 2 days for testing. All this happens in sprint planning session. Okay, that's what and this is okay. So here is right. It's kind of voting system. They do forecast how much time it will take, and in that time, the particular user story is completed or not. Okay, and this lasts for 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, and then make sure that you don't have lunch at that time. So it will be like from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. However it goes. Normally, it's should not supposed to last for 1-2 hours at max, but depends on the project, how the project to organize it. So that's the sprint planning. Okay. So let's go. Any questions in sprint planning? So there is one more actually. Okay, I forgot here. So it's not in Wikipedia too. It's there's something called sprint grooming. Okay, there's sprint grooming session. Okay, that means if things are not worked on here and there's something missing, they will have one more session that is called sprint grooming, and there will be if some user stories have been missed, or you have to discuss more about these user stories and all those who is the testers, who is the developers, and what they're trying to do. Then they will be having sprint grooming session, but it's really not required. Sprint planning, everything is organized, and sprint planning should be good. You don't have to move to sprint grooming. Okay. Then this now sprint planning. So here's the thing. This is the important thing. Sprint planning always starts with the start of the sprint. So let's say your first sprint, right? Sprint planning starts with the first, not first day, the first week. Okay, any time in the first week, and first week of the sprint. Okay, whenever they're trying to start that meeting. So it's like you're going to sprint, and what you're trying to do. So that's about the sprint planning. Okay, first week of the sprint. We do the sprint planning. Now there is something called daily Scrum meeting. Okay. Now daily Scrum meeting, this kind of every day we will be having every day. The everyday meeting. Okay, this something is also called as stand-up meeting. You see here. This is the daily Scrum meeting, okay, stand-up meeting. There's a lot of people here. Okay, there will be a Scrum Master, there's a developers, product owner sometimes. Okay, product owner also comes here, see what's going on and how the project is and how the business should be required for this particular application. So this is people who are stand-up meetings. So it's something sometimes called as stand-up meetings. There's one Scrum Master who organizes it and sees what's going on with your story, what's happening, what you're trying to do, and all those things. Okay, so that's about daily Scrum. And okay, so here and it lasts for only 15 minutes. Okay, 15 to 20 minutes at the max. Okay, it doesn't go beyond that. Okay, if it's going more than 30 minutes, then you're doing something wrong. It doesn't go beyond 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. 15 minutes is the max. Okay, and it's every day. It's daily. So what exactly they discuss here? Okay, so let's see here what they exactly discuss here. So first thing, what have you done yesterday? Okay, what are you going to do today? And what are you going to do tomorrow? And what is the impediments that is stopping you to do your work? 4 important things. Okay, here is 3. So, okay, so 4 important things. What have you done yesterday? What are you going to do today? And what are you going to do tomorrow? And what is the impediment that is stopping you to do your work? So this is what we will be discussing for each and every people. So it can be developer, it can be tester, or it can be anyone, okay, in the team. And not everyone are invited in this, okay? And not everyone are invited, only the developers, testers, and the Scrum Master. Obviously, Scrum Master organizes this. no more bars. Okay, your bars doesn't show up here. Okay, it's really not required unless your bars is a technical, it's like manages a lot of technical things. Sometimes developer managers, right? They do some lot of technical work, and so they know what's going on, what is the issues, pressing issues, and all those things. So in that case, it's okay. But otherwise, no, your boss doesn't show up here. Okay, boss are not invited for daily Scrum meeting, and also they are not invited in sprint planning unless they know what they're trying to do. Okay, because this is all technical. They know the technical what's going on, so they are this. Sometimes developer managers might know what's going on and something. So other than that, no, it's not. They are not invited. So that's the daily Scrum. Okay. Any questions in daily Scrum? Okay. So let's go to the next one then. Sprint review and retrospective meeting. Okay. So what they discuss here is now this is the end of the sprint. Okay. End of the sprint, and they will. So what they will do here is, again, this is organized by the Scrum Master, and they'll see, what the three important things. Okay, what went good, what didn't go good, and how can we improve which didn't go good. Okay, three important things they will be discussing in sprint review and retrospective, and this doesn't last for less than 1 hour, less than if it's a small team, okay, 1 hour is more than enough. This group doesn't go beyond 1 hour. Okay, sometimes it's only 30 minutes. Okay, there might be so many issues, right? Let's say the user stories. Okay, this time user stories, we didn't had enough time to complete. Developer will say we didn't have enough time because now we have to do a lot of coordination, a lot of work, and that time was not enough. So such kind of issues, you can discuss so that they will improve in the next sprint. Okay, so that this doesn't happen next time. Okay, so that is sprint review and retrospective. So these three important meetings: sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and retrospective. And there's also sometimes sprint grooming, but it's really not required if sprint planning is done properly. Okay, any questions so far? So let's go to artifacts pretty quick here. Now this kind of product backlogs. Okay, you call this product backlog. Now here in waterfall methodology, there's something called requirements, right? So this is really broad term. Okay, so product backlog, that means it's a high level requirement, so very high level requirement. So this is so high level, that means it's it can be one line statement in Excel Word. In Excel, it can be a one line statement, design GM online. Okay, so that means you're not able to write your test cases from your product backlogs because it doesn't contain any technical information whatsoever. Only technical information you will be having is in user story, not in product backlog. It's a very high level requirement. Okay, it's kind of story, the product owner will write some story. Okay, this is how it should be. GMO online, it should contain all these features and all those things. Okay, those kind of, so that's the product backlog. So even if you have this product backlog with you, you cannot write test cases. You need to have this user story ready. Okay. So it's a very high level requirement. Okay. Which contains information about the project. Okay. That's the product backlog. And then you have this sprint backlog. Okay. So here what happens, right? So in this sprint backlog contains, what's the sprint we are moving into. Okay, this is about sprint. Okay, so okay, let's see here. Let's take an example here. Okay, let's try to understand what's the sprint backlog here. Okay, so here this is process. This is in process in agile. Okay, um, this is we can say it's for more related to Scrum. Okay, so this is your product backlog. That means it contains information about your project. Okay. Okay. So maybe it's because I'm muting it. So actually, I'm muting it in between. So maybe that's the reason. Okay. I'm actually muting it. Okay. Because we don't want unnecessary sound, right? Sometimes background sound. So that's why I'm muting it in between. So that's why it might be looking as breaking. Okay. Okay. So here, let's go here. Okay. So this is the product backlog. Okay. So this contains, this is kind of blocks of information. That means let's take it as one block is a lot of chunk of information. Okay. So what they will divide this into different sprints. So that means one block is divided into various sprints. Okay, let's take for example as 4 sprint. Okay, one block 4 sprint, second block another 4 sprint, and third block another 4 sprint. Because a lot of chunk of work, right? It's a lot of information. So they have to divide into various sprint. Okay, that's called sprint backlog. Okay, it's not really exactly as 4 sprint or 5 sprint, but it's based on the it's based on the project how they want to divide it, and that's how this you can divide your sprint backlog. Okay, and then you form this 30 days. Let's we are taking an example for ease of convenience. We are taking as a one sprint. Lasts for 30 days. Okay, 30 days. Once you have completed, go to this. You deliver this software, the piece of software, not everything. Whichever the small piece which were completed by one block. This was more priority. So that's what the reason they divided into various sprint backlog, and then there was completed and that was delivered to the customer in 1 month. Okay, so that's the sprint backlog. Okay, the product backlog is actually divided into various sprints because a lot of a chunk of information should be divided, right? A lot of work that has to be divided into various sprints. Okay, so that's called a sprint backlog. So that's how the Scrum process also similar. Okay, that's how this Scrum process works that way. Okay, so let's go to the next. Any questions so far? Okay, so here. Okay. So let's go to various charts. So you know various charts, right? So we have seen this in Rally. So Rally plots for you automatically. Okay. If you guys have not seen, let's see pretty quick here. So if you see here, but only chart is working here is that the defects per priority, right? That's the only thing is working. So let's see here. Okay. So go here. If you see this, oh, go here. So if you see here, right? If you see here, there's a lot of charts. Okay. So these are the plotted chart, and if you want to customize it, you can customize it right from here. You can customize your own chart. But so this is the chart, right? Iteration burn down, iteration burn up, velocity chart, iteration. So there's a lot of charts here. Okay. Some of you guys have seen here. People who don't, so this is the place you can see here. Okay. So that's what the charts are plotted. Okay? That's how the charts are plotted. So let's see here. Burn down chart. Okay. See here, burn down chart. So it has a number of days here, the x-axis, and y-axis you have the remaining efforts, that is in hours. Okay. And this green color, you see, that's an ideal burn down. That means that's how we are expecting should be completed. But as usual, right, you cannot complete it ideally. So it is because there might be a lot of bugs, a lot of issues. Okay. And you have to do a lot of work, and some other team are involved in this. You have to wait for the other team. So that's the reason, this chart is ups and downs. Okay. So it's an ups and downs. So that's how normally burn down charts looks like. Okay, so here you don't have to plot something. Okay, here this is good. In Rally, it's made it for you. It's automatically plot it for you. You don't have to plot it. But if this has to be done manually, okay, then Scrum Master is the responsible guy who actually plots this graph. So manually, what is to do is they take that big plotters, right? There's a plotters, and they print the chart and stick it on the wall. That is traditional way of doing it, but really it's not required because this, before 5-6 years ago, they used to do that. Okay, now it's really not required. You have everything right here. That can can plot it right. The Rally does it for you. You don't have to do anything manually. So there are various charts here: burn down chart, burn up chart, and then you have velocity. So these are the charts which you can plot. So let's see here. This is a traditional way of doing here. Okay. Now, in the olden days, what they used to do, but maybe some places they are still following this. So let's see here what is exactly this is. So velocity is actually, let's see here. Velocity is the, how much work is done as and how much is not. Okay, so let's see here. We can see this graph. Okay, good. So this is the velocity, and you see this x-axis is plotted on iterations, number of iterations, and velocity is actually the time. Okay, the time how much you're taking. Okay, how many iterations is being done, and how much So how much points? Okay, this points is allocated for this. That means, as I told you, right? It's how much. Let's say you're taking 5 hours. Or, I'm sorry, 5 days. Okay, the developer is saying this 5 days. So there's a lot of people involved, right? Some developers say 5 days, some people say 3 days, all those things. So that how many points have been allocated into this? Okay, so this is called velocity chart. Okay, this is again, this helps you to automatically, plot for you. You don't have to, do it manually or something. This tool helps you to do yourself. Okay, so I'm muting everyone. If anyone has questions, we can unmute. Okay, so let's see here. This is a traditional way of representing your Scrum. Let's talk about this Scrum. Okay, now this is a Scrum, and this is a board. Okay, this is a board. You put this, Scrum Master puts this all big board here in the window, and if you see here. So here, there's a lot of columns here, right? A lot of columns, stories. In the one column you have these stories. That's user stories. Okay. To do that means how much time it's taking to do. Okay. And okay, this progress, how much progress you're doing, and what the testing is, and when does it end. These are like 4 columns here on the board. But if you are using some good tool, okay, like Rally, now you don't have to do all this. Okay, you don't have to do this. Let me show you why. Because you already have this in the task. That's the reason we have this task. Okay, see here. Let's take it as mine and see here. If you have this plan, you see all this thing is already defined, so all this, and what is the time it's taking, 8, 10, okay. Here we are talking hours, okay, here we are talking about hours, but okay, you can still make it as days, it's up to you how you want to, but here we are actually talking about hours, okay, but unlike here is actually in the days, okay, so don't get confused. Okay, so all this is here actually, so you don't need anything board like this to explain. Okay, so let's go one by one. So here you have this is the user stories. Okay, that means these are the user stories required to go in this sprint. Okay, in sprint 1, this has to go each and every user story. See this? This is the user stories. This is one line. It's fairly one line statement, but if you need more information on this, if you need more information on this, then you have to coordinate with the developer or coordinate with the Scrum Master and get get the information into what's what this user story is all about, and how you are going to proceed with that and all those things. Okay, but this is how you can do it. And then you have this to do. See this to do column. And these are, if you see this, these are sticky notes. Okay, these are the sticky notes. That means whenever a new work gets started, the first guy to pick up the user story is actually developer, right? Because you cannot start testing unless development is completed. Okay, does it make sense? You cannot start testing. So you're not the one to first to pick up the user story and I'm testing in this. Okay, you are allocated to tester, that's fine, that you can test it once the development is completed, but you are not the one to start first. First, the person who is to start is developer. So developers puts up these sticky notes and write the information that that okay, I'm going to work on this. There's a lot of work, and I'll be putting like 5. That is 5 days. Okay? And once they write some small place, they'll write it as 5 number. That means it takes 5. And every day they strike it. One day is over, then put it 4. Again, the next day put it 3, and so on. Okay. And they move into progress. Okay. Once it's done, okay, they put it here. Okay, it's done. Now once it's done, you have to pick up a sticky note that is for testers and start testing, which is completed by development team. Okay, and this will be a different color. We can have different color for developer and tester. Okay, and different color sticky note, and that you will be working on this to do the similar way. And normally it should be beside one. So here it's kind of beside one. Okay, it should be normally beside this that you're trying to do. So here you see this, right? 2 to 3 sticky notes. That means development is completed, testers is working on it, testers completed. There are more testers, then you have more sticky notes. Okay, and once it's progressed, you put this Testing once it's come again the same thing. Like if you have 2 days for testing, just put in 2, strike it 1, and put it, and then it says complete. Now this is the traditional way of doing it. It's pretty traditional. Okay, it's not. Um, you don't have to do this anymore. Actually, but it's upon project. How which company you're working in. And because the reason why this is more complex, because you need a lot of time to do this. You have to get this board from somewhere. Okay, your Scrum Master has to get a board, and you have to work on this. Okay, put that, print those user stories and stick up here. A lot of work, right? You are doing work which is really not productive. Okay, it's really not productive because this is not really helping to move forward with the work. That's the reason this rally was designed for that. It's an example. It's not really has to be rally. It can be Jira. It can be I've not used many tools, but yeah, Jira is one of the agile tools. Okay, that can also be. HPLM is really not fit for agile. To be honest, it's really not fit for agile. It's good for waterfall methodology. So we'll see. We'll see why. Okay, we'll go to have these classes to HPLM, but it's really not fit for doing agile. The reason because it's more complex and it's tedious. It's tedious because you will be doing a lot of redundant work, and that will only get you frustration. You get this is not happening. This is not moving. Okay, this new sprint has come up. Where is the user story? Where is the requirements? All this ends up in frustration because a lot of tedious work. Okay, but here is good. Only one place, everything. Okay, here you have the same. This is the user story, and luckily you have all this test case right inside the user story, and you'll be executing right here from here, and it's good. Okay, it's more I would say user friendly. Okay, user friendly tool. HPLM is really not that user friendly, but still you can do it in. You want some companies really are doing in HPLM for agile. Not sure how frustration people would be there for doing that one, but you can still manage. You can still have to do it if they are using that. Okay. So, but this thing helps you out to do all this plan for you. Okay, and this will help you to put whatever the graphs are and whatever this plottings and everything you can do right in this tool. Okay, you don't have to go somewhere else. You don't have to print something big and put it in the walls, because sometimes some people visit, right, CFO or CIO. Okay, they will visit what's going on with the project, what's happening, where are the what's happening with the graphs, how you guys are working, so all those things. Okay, so rally. So I don't think Rally has any version, but let's check it out if they have any version. So yes, they might have some versions. Let's see here. But just like in HPLM has a version 12.5. Okay, let's see here. What's versions? Okay, they might have these different versions for Rally. That's a good question. Okay. Oh, okay.
Hi, Manu. Can I ask one doubt?
Yeah, sure.
In ALM, you have requirement tab, but here we don't have. But instead, you have user stories here, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So when during the real testing, that see team lead will separate all the requirements into many people. So we had to write the user stories here, or team lead will write.
User stories are not written by QA guys. User stories are written by product owners.
Okay, so that means there is we are not writing any requirement in Rally.
No, it's not your job.
Oh, okay.
Not anyone. So even lead doesn't work on that. So lead also will not write any user story.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's nothing to do with QA. Whole QA, like QA tester, QA analyst, QA lead, QA manager, QA director, so on. That hierarchy, that whole hierarchy is not responsible anyone to mess with this user story. User story is only done by business analyst.
Okay. Thank you.
That's I mean product owner. Okay, here you call product owner. Okay, so somebody asked this question, version 1, okay. Now I'm not sure about this version 1 in the tool, maybe I have to look into it. Okay, so yeah, maybe you can use version, so there's a lot of tools, okay. There's a lot of tools here, so there's also Zephyr, here there's IBM ClearQuest, IBM ClearCase, okay, and there's one more like ticket management tool, that is BMC, okay, BMC ticket management tool. That is really, you can say to open defect, but really not good for writing your test cases, okay. So that is also an option, okay, but yeah, there's a lot of tools actually. So I'm not sure about version 1, maybe I have to still look into it, okay. Yeah, maybe you can use also in the Agile too, not a problem. So any tool you can use in Agile, so still not any restriction or not to use, or it's not like hard and fast rule, but the problem comes once you are, you have a lot of things to do, but it's not really very easy to do that, okay. So that's the thing when it comes. So if you see, this is the time limit, okay. This is the time limit for your user story, okay. This is how much plant, how much is remaining time. This is time for your user story. So that means um, how much time is required to complete this whole user story actually, okay. And two, so as a tester, you will not change this one, but what you'll be changing is in your task. Okay, that's your task. Task where you'll be changing. So that automatically changes here. So how much time is changing, how much you require, and what is the total to do. Okay. So you are really not changing the time of user story, but you're changing the time of your testing. Okay. That is right from here. Okay. Seeing it here. It's defined, you put to progress, and then you put is completed. Once you're done, you just click on this, it will get completed. How much time did you take? How much do you? Okay. So that's okay, so that's no, so that's this is the traditional way of doing it. Even if you're if you're working in the company, you might also recommend, okay, saying that hey, why don't we use a better tool? Okay, there's why don't we use a Rally or something? Jira, no, Jira is also good. Okay, why don't we use this Jira? It's very good for Agile. The reason because everything you don't have to do anything manually. You don't have to need this big boards, and you don't want to spend your time on just decorating these all user stories here. You just use it online, just here, and just move it to completed, move it to pass. That should be good. But we are actually requiring a lot of time, which it's unproductive work, okay, which is actually the unproductive work. We can allocate more time here to do more testing or more development, okay. But we are actually using this time for which is really not productive for moving forward for your project. So why don't we use this tool? Okay, why don't we use Jira? Why don't we use Rally? And you can also recommend, based on my experience, we could use this tool because this helps us to complete our testing, without losing too much time. Okay. So that's because that's also option you have to recommend, because again, not boss doesn't know, you have to tell them. Okay, that's why they hire you, right? They hire you because boss is not good in technical point of view, because they are management perspective, right? They are management, so they don't know anything. It's not anything, they don't know much about technical. So you are the one who knows technical, so that's the reason you can recommend to your boss saying that, hey, why not we use this tool? Why are we using traditional way, which uses a lot of unproductive work? It doesn't help to move forward with our, we are using more time this organizing than we could use for testing. We could have more time for testing and we could work on it. Okay. So that's pretty much on Agile. Any questions so far? So we go through this Kanban also. Kanban is simple. Okay. If you know the Scrum, if you understand the Scrum, that means pretty much it's similar to 2 or 3. Okay. Kanban, I know Kanban. Kanban is simple than simple than Scrum. Okay. The other models, extreme programming, and will be similar. Okay. RAG, rapid application development, will be similar, not same. Okay, because process is what you follow here, but the way they do is different. Okay, so we'll also go to Kanban, see how this works, because there's a tool, TFS. Actually, there's a tool, TFS, Team Foundation Server from Microsoft, and it's also a test management tool, but it's from different company, okay, Microsoft. And this is Rally is from CA Technologies, okay, CA Technologies. And yeah, somebody recommended one, right? Version 1.2. Okay, let me check it out on that. How does that looks like? I have not used that one, so maybe I can know what is that, and you'll see that one. Okay. Any more questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, you told me to complete that certification, right?
Right.
Is it an objective exam?
Okay, so we'll go through that. Okay, certification is kind of yes, kind of exam, but you are actually working from right in front of your laptop. You don't have to go to some center, or you can just sit at home, use the same thing. It's free. It's free. You don't have to pay anything except your internet bill. Other than that, it's completely free. You just sit at your home whenever you want. You can complete it. Yes.
How can you write that exam? You have given videos and a link for the exam. We need to follow that videos and do that exam, right?
Exactly. Follow the videos. After video, you have this, choose the correct answer. All of the choose the correct answer. So you have to choose the right answer for the question, and you need at least for MBA, Microsoft Virtual Academy, you need 4 out of 5 correct answers. So that means if you are attempting 5 questions, then 4 should be correct, and then you can move forward with other questions, other video, and then questions. So once you complete all of them, then you will be getting a certificate.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And the good thing is you can repeat any number of times, so there's no time limit, so you're good. Actually, we'll discuss in the last class. That is 23rd is our last class. So we'll discuss on that, okay, and see.
But you have told to complete that by 21st, 22nd.
Yeah, so 21st is the homework, 22nd is the certification. Right? Yeah. And some people already have this ISQB, and that's fine, that's good. If you know that, that's good. You put in your resume. and take a print out. You know what? I have the certification. You know what? I'm good to go. So the reason you have the certification to put in your resume, right? That you're a qualified person and to do the job. So that's the reason you need to have this certification. Once you get into it, you can move to higher level. Okay, higher level, the ISQB and all those things. But in this class, you won't have to do that because you won't have to pay any money. Okay, it's for free. And first, try it for free, and if you're interested, you can move forward with higher certifications. Any questions anymore?
No.
Okay. So tomorrow we'll discuss about Jira, and see this is also a test management tool, and this is similar to Rally. If you know Rally, this should be easy for you. Okay, if no questions, can we close this class for today?
Yes.
Yeah, I do have a question, sir. Can I ask some question?
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Hello? Okay. So this is my phone number. Let's see here. Phone number. Okay. So if anyone has any questions, you can reach me out. If I'm not able, so try to go through email. If not, call me this number. Okay. If I'm not available, then you can reach out to email. So let's see if we can schedule some phone call by today or something whenever you're free, whenever I'm free. Okay. And we can go from there. Okay. So I'll be closing this because you guys have one more class, right? Some people have one more class, so I'll be closing it. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys.